Child welfare is not rocket science, because rocket science is easier.
At its worst, society needs people at their best. Where do you learn to be a parent? Where do you go to school to be a parent? You don't.
I think that children and families have been improved because of Children's Services Board, and I think it's an invaluable agency.
I honestly don't believe I'd be here today if it wasn't for them.
We keep kids alive. We keep them safe when things are going rough for their families. It's really a public health crisis. So besides that good feeling when you see a child and their parents reunited, or a child united with a loving adoptive home, I really feel we're doing the whole community a service.
Children's Services has to be here to speak for those children.
These folks have fire in the belly. I mean, they come in here every day, not because they want to take kids away from families, but because they want to keep families together and they want to help kids.
They want to do a good job. I think many of them take it personal. They want to be very professional and provide a service to the community that speaks highly for their organization.
And I've seen our staff take in whole families, 6, 7, 8 kids, because they're in a bad environment. They mother them, they nurture them, they love them, and they let them know someone is there.
I've been at those after hours, taking people to meetings and making sure that, they've been able to get where they need to go.
It's not a 8 to 4 job. If the call is 10 o'clock at night or 2 in the morning, they respond.
We're there to be your expert.
If we receive a complaint of child abuse or neglect, we would contact Trumbull County Children's Services, fax them or email them a copy of our police report, and then they'll conduct the investigation from that point. We'll
do an investigation and assessment, and then we'll determine what does the kid and the family need. And safety's always first. We're there to call 24/7 if you have a question about a child or children in a family, and you're wondering whether they need help and what's the responsible thing to do.
Our goal is to reconcile. It is to hopefully put children and parents back together.
We were pregnant with this little man, and obviously had a drug issue. He was born and tested positive for several narcotics, and they proceeded to take him from us from there. So we having to leave that hospital for the foster parents to come pick him up and take him away was definitely a hard day. We hated Children's Services. They were the bad guy. They were taking our kid from us, and it was everybody else's fault. It wasn't our fault. Of course not. It wasn't our fault. It was everybody else.
I remember meeting them for the first time, and they really didn't care what they had to do. They just said, we're in, sign us up, let's go. Family Dependency Treatment Court was brought up to them as an option in order to hold them more accountable to remaining sober, so that they would be able to get their child back.
They wanted us to enter Family Dependency Court. Obviously, they were taking him, and they needed structured, monitored visits with him, and we attacked all that full bore.
Once a week we got to see him for an hour. It was really hard, and they just progressed after that. Like, first couple weeks we got to see him for an hour a week, and then it went to a couple hours, and then we got a home visit, and so on and so forth. And then we got our first overnight, and then he came home at like 3 months. He was in foster care.
And I said, as long as you are safe and stable enough to have your child, that's where they should be. They shouldn't be anywhere else but with their parents. We work on a weekly basis with checking in on them and making sure that they have all of their needs met.
Children's Services changed our lives.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, I just started YSU, so hopefully I'll be an addiction counselor in the next 6 years, hopefully by then. And James wants to go back to school.
I feel like, you meet certain people And they come into your lives for certain reasons, and just as much as they've gotten from us, I feel like I've gotten from them.
It'd be impossible for us to make it where we are today without them. I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about Children's Services. Moral support, advice, everything along the way.
Yeah, when we were struggling, they've helped us. They've helped us more than they've hurt, so that's for sure.
My mother was addicted to drugs. When I got reunited with my mom again after the first incident, ended up not working out.
Some kids need out-of-home care, and we have staff that specialize in that. We have 100 foster families that help us take care of kids, do the really hard work.
I think you have to have love in your heart to do this. I don't feel like this isn't for everybody.
To love somebody else's child, you know, like your own, I think is a calling. I think it's something special.
I think when the community sees a child's been taken, they don't know what's underneath it all. My brothers and I were removed from my mother and the guy she was living with for abuse and alcoholism and everything like that. It was so nice to go into a home where it was calm. You didn't have to worry about fighting or yelling or anything like that, and you had food, and you could sleep all night and felt safe. I actually have to think that they're not my biological family.
After the child has been in the home for a period of about 6 months, a petition for adoption may be filed with the court. If all goes well and it looks like it's a permanent family, I will approve the adoption. It's one of the best things we do because it's like starting a new family.
We'd come out to the group home. There was a little kid there, and we went in because we were keeping another girl. And he decided he wanted us to read to him. So he came over and sat on our lap. We read to him, and he said, well, I want to go home with you. We came a few more times, and we took him home when he was age 7. And at age 9, we adopted him. He's now in the United States Navy and is a top secret clearance guy.
That's where you get the joy from. When they call you up and they tell you, oh, Mom, I got so-and-so, oh, coffee, this here is going, that's where the reward comes in at. You know you did your job then.
I am not their mother. I am their foster mother, and they realize that, but you have a relationship that is the same as a parent. The first time that they say, accidentally, hey, Mom, and you go, you know, your heart kind of flutters.
They're still very much a part of your life and of your family. It's just not something that goes away after they leave you, you know, because you're still concerned about them and worried and want to make sure they made it.
We absolutely need more people like her. And we have a lot of foster parents that are like her, but we need a lot more.
And even though we don't have any biological children, I can't imagine loving any other child any more than I do the 4 that we have. And you know, there's nothing better than the unsolicited hugs and kisses and the excitement that you see in their face when you come home from work.
We're not here to tear families apart. We're here to help build them back together, and I think that's real important.
My heart has changed, and you know, Children's Services does a great job. They are advocates for the children.
If we all work together as a team, I think that's what Trumbull County Children really stands for.
I have a much bigger family than when I started with when I was younger. You know, I have several people in my circle right now.
You never know the impact you really have on a child's life. Here we feel we're advocates for the children.
They want to bring families together, and they want, you know, what's best for the children. That's all they're trying to do, is give the children a safe and a healthy environment to live in.
Nothing makes me happier than seeing people become what they're capable of becoming, and seeing that light, you know, when they finally get it, when they finally believe in themselves enough, because, you know, you can only believe in them enough before they, you know, have to take over and believe in themselves.
Well, knowing we're here, knowing that we're helping children out there, that I can't even imagine what it would be like if the agency wasn't here for the children.
This organization focuses on the children, the needs of the children to help them become productive citizens for today and tomorrow. And I'm very proud to be a part of it.